unfortunately, Lea's condition has deteriorated in the last 24 hours, and quite rightly, Mum is staying by her side. Instead, we have two of Lea's biggest supporters, Zeina Naim and Lola Lopez, here to bring us up to date with how Lea is coping at the moment. Ladies, thanks for being with us. Very kind of you to take time.
Thank you.
Zeina, if I can start with you first, because we were all very touched by Lea's condition and her fight as well, her high spirits when we met her a couple of years ago. What's happened since 2010?
Well, thankfully, because of the public and the government in the Philippines, Lea was able to have her bone marrow transplant there. So once she did the transplant, she was actually okay medically, and then about 41 days on, she started developing some complications, which led to her having a lot of lung complications, lung issues. One of them called the skin graft versus host disease, and she had that in her skin and her lungs, actually. And then since then, she went to Tawam Hospital for a couple of admissions due to some viral infections. And then after the Tawam Hospital, had to be readmitted to Dubai Hospital in severe respiratory distress, where she actually is still now at the moment.
That's where she is at the moment. Yeah. Before we move on to the next step, where people can get on board and throw their support behind, I just want to sort of touch on the overwhelming support that the family and Lea have had since 2010. How have the family reacted to that?
Well, I mean, we were discussing this before. I mean, let's be truthful about the situation. The Jovens do come from a demographic that is often overlooked in this part of the world, and I think what certainly would touch me if I was in their shoes so much is that people actually care about them.
Indeed, they do.
They don't have a high profile. They don't have. I think that's why Zeina originally stepped up, and it was Zeina that got in touch with me. But you know, what are people in that situation from that demographic supposed to do when they don't have the high-powered friends and they can't reach out to someone so easily? Yeah. I think that's what might have touched them more than anything else, that people from other demographics are willing to step up and help.
Yeah, and that's a real sort of evidence of the community here coming together. Unfortunately, for Lea that is, we're asking the community to come together yet again because she needs a new operation. Tell us more.
At the moment, Lea's lung complications cannot really be treated in the UAE. Her doctors have recommended that she be treated abroad with a specialised paediatric pulmonary team as well as a bone marrow team, because the results of these complications have been because of her bone marrow failure. So we need, like, you know, two teams really looking after her at the moment. Dubai Hospital is doing everything that they can to support Lea, but you know, at this point they've all recommended that she be treated abroad. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do, is again find ways to support her to be able to do that.
Exactly, through a number of ways, through raising awareness and of course throwing your support behind Lea and her family. How do people do that these days?
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is that there are very strict regulations in the country and in this region with regards to raising money for funds. I think quite rightly so. The governments are trying to protect the interests of people who are donating money very innocently and trusting people. The best thing people can do is go to Lea's Facebook page. It's facebook.com/love for Lea. We try to put a positive spin on it, and rather than a depressing name, and love for Lea, and get in touch with the family directly. There's always going to be things that she needs. Michelle is on the page. Even Lea goes onto the page herself and answers people's questions when she's feeling better. So I think that's probably the best way forward for now.
You two are here talking on her and her family's behalf. Just evidence of this huge wave of support that's going behind Lea's case at the moment. Do you think one of the elements that she really has captured the imagination and captured the support of so many is her fighting spirit, which we've seen from the off?
Oh, persistence, no doubt.
Definitely. I mean, one of the ICU doctors was saying the other day that they've never seen a child fight so hard, and that Lea really is a special child, and we really want to give her the chance, as she's not a typical child, and she really deserves the best chance that she can get.
It's not to go without saying, Lea's mum and her father are phenomenal. Yeah. Lea's mum has had to stop working. Her father is now the sole provider for the family, and Lea's mum is by her bedside every single day. And you know, let's not forget them as well. They're fighting just as hard, and it just goes to show what you can achieve medically and how long you can go if you've got the right support around you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So rising costs are there. We can see that. It's been mentioned in a lot of the press going out there. And as you say, the impact this is having, not just on this wonderful little 12-year-old, but also on the family as a whole, is immense. So anything we can do to help, that's the message we're trying to give.
Absolutely, even if it's just wishing her well on a day. Leah does come onto Facebook, doesn't she? And she does read the messages. So just as many people on that Facebook page just to brighten her day.
And one final question, Zeina. One thing that struck me about Lea when I first met her and her story was the fact that she doesn't complain. She's never complained about anything because of the situation they're in.
And she's even asking Mum and Dad how they are when she speaks to them.
Yeah.
And she's telling them not to worry about her. She's absolutely amazing.
Well,
she really is.
Hopefully we can do our little bit. That's what we're all doing down here. You guys, of course, are out there helping to raise awareness and raise support. So thank you so much indeed for being down with us. And of course, Michelle out there, who I'm sure is watching, and the rest of the family, and little Lea as well. All our thoughts are with you. So thank you to each, every one of you. Facebook.com/Studio One Live for all the links of how